Sweet.
Good morning. Oh, sorry. Go. Yeah. Let's start again. Good morning, good afternoon, welcome people to episode 228. We are flying through the 200s.
Yes, indeed.
I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as I've ever, I am joined by
Ian Loring. Hello, guys.
Ian, I'm sat on my bed recording this on my iPad because I still have no functioning laptop, and I just consciously had to get up because I was just in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and thought, I can't podcast like this. I can't be speaking to Ian in just a pair of shorts and a t-shirt.
Of course you can.
So I got fully dressed again.
Nice. Well, I got a shirt and tie on, so I've obviously dressed for the occasion.
Dressed for the occasion, yes. Well, we've got a triple review show for you people tonight because Netflix keep dropping stuff. If they drop new stuff that's good and looks interesting, then, you know, why not watch it? So we have watched the Meyerowitz stories, and we have watched The Babysitter, and we have also we're going to bring you a review of the new Tomas Alfredson film, The Snowman, which stars Michael Fassbender. Amongst that, we'll give you some trailers, a little bit of what we're watching. I think I've watched a few bits that weren't these three movies, and we'll probably have the usual tangents. We've got a couple of good questions. Ian, is there anything I'm forgetting?
No, I don't think so, mate. Yeah, no, all good.
Cool. Is there anything non-hideous that's happened in the film world this week that we should chat about?
I don't think so, to be fair. It's all still the fallout, isn't it?
Yeah, which to be honest, you know, it's understandable, and it's a big story, and it clearly needs looking at, and you know, a lot of people seem to be trying to kind of deal with it in a holistic way, but then that's kind of adding backlashes with the Academy kicking. All right, so you're going to kick him out about that? Hang on a minute, though. What about those guys there?
Yeah.
And then there's certain people where you go in, do you know what? You don't need to make a statement. You're the person who really should be just keeping fucking quiet and staying away, Woody. Please.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it just shows how fucking out of touch he is. You know,
it is, yeah.
It's just go, like, just enjoy your fucking New York life, and you're making one film a year and, like, playing your jazz and whatnot. I mean, the thing is, Woody Allen is old. He's old, and he probably doesn't have a great understanding of how the world generally works these days. And I mean, like, he came out and clarified after, but it just, fuck, man, I don't know. Everybody's got to put out a statement about everything, and Woody Allen does not need to put out a statement about this. It'd be like fucking Polanski putting out a statement about it. You know, it's like, just leave it alone.
It is that, and not everyone kind of needs to make a statement. But then again, there's been some people who've kind of been criticised for not putting out statements, and then putting out statements and saying, I kind of didn't know I needed to comment on this, so here we go.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, fuck, man. It just makes me laugh that he's saying, you know, yeah, guys, I need help, blah, blah, blah. But he's also threatening to sue the New York Times. And it's just like, do you know, no, you can't have it both ways. Just fuck off for a while.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It is just, do you know what? Keep fucking quiet.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think hopefully that will be our last word on the subject, though, and like, yeah. I don't know. There'll be some other stuff to fucking talk about next week.
Oh yeah, hopefully, like I say, it's not that we're downplaying the situation or anything like that, but it's just, like I say, it's a situation that I think is best left for that particular situation. Is best left for people to sort it out, and I think for the sensible people within Hollywood to kind of go to the people that they know have a bit of a, do you know what, your time has gone. You cannot get away with it anymore. This isn't fucking new in Hollywood. It's been going on since the fucking 40s. This is a 70, 80-year-old problem. Let's not act like it's a new problem. It's what it is social media, and almost like a rise in in left politics. I think which sounds crazy. I'm not saying that that it's because of that, but I think in this climate of political anger, essentially, it's forced people to go, do you know what? This won't fucking happen anymore. This won't stand anymore. And I think that social media has given a platform for people to kind of go, fuck it. No, this is it. This is that. And we need to sort this out. And hopefully now Hollywood will go, thank fuck. Can we fucking nip this in the bud now? We've been waiting for a long, long time. It needs to go from being the norm to being something that is very much in the fucking rearview mirror.
Very much so. Yep.
Cool. It's me doing the ship, isn't it?
Yep,
yes,
it is.
Ian, what trailers have you watched this week?
Okay, so I think a couple. So the New Mutants, which I didn't know anything about it, so the trailer starts and it's all a bit horror-y, and I was just thinking, oh, they're doing a nice bit of misdirection here before it turns into like X-Men babies, and then it doesn't. It's just like, right, it's a horror thing, and apparently the director Josh Boone basically wants to do a trilogy of horror movies set within a different subgenre for each one. And
that's very American Horror Story.
Yes,
do that,
quite.
Don't they? Yeah.
And you know what? I don't think the trailer is particularly inspired, and God knows it's taking its fucking visuals from other things. But I will watch a Marvel property horror film.
Well, yeah, that's it. I'm the same as that. It's interesting. Is it their first proper genre pick?
It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, I suppose you've got Blade, which is kind of an action horror. I mean, Blade 2's definitely got some horror-inflected stuff going on in it.
It's got some gothic stuff in there, hasn't it? It's got some very Del Toro-y leanings, but I don't know whether I'd go as far as to say it's full-blown genre. No. Do you know what? Do you know what's weird? Do you know what I think is the closest to a full-blown... There's probably one standing out that's listeners are shouting out at us now. But the closest to kind of full fucking genre would be something like the first two Punisher movies, actually. Not the Punisher one with Dolph Lundgren and the Punisher one with Thomas Jane are proper B-movie action films.
That's true.
You could possibly call it genre picks, but I suppose this will be the first genre pick, not sub-genre pick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's not a very inspired trailer. I mean, what did you think of the trailer itself?
It looks like standard studio horror fare. Like you say, it's not very inspired. It looks very contained. It's not doing anything new apart from the fact that it's a Marvel horror movie.
Thing is, I could just see it being like $30 million budget, and it would just make that back a few times over at least. And if it's good, then word of mouth will probably get it higher than that. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm definitely, I'm interested more based on concept and trailer, but I am interested.
Yes, I'm the same.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's. I'll watch it. I can't say I'm excited for it, but I wouldn't be intrigued if it didn't say Marvel at the beginning of it. Is what I'll say.
Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it, actually. I mean, the only other one I think I watched is Black Panther, which just looks really impressive. Straight up, the world building in it looks cracking. I mean, like Christ, if the editing in the film is anything as interesting as the editing in the trailer, then I think we're gonna have some really interesting stuff going on. And I love that it's coming out in February.
Yeah, that kind of took me by surprise. I had no idea it was February. It was going to be coming out in.
I mean, they're trying to kind of like take over the whole of the year, really, aren't they, Marvel? Because you've got this in February, you've got Infinity War in like Deadpool. April, May. You've got
Deadpool February as well.
No, Deadpool's a summer movie now.
Is it Deadpool a summer movie now? Wow.
Yeah, like that thing's like June, and I mean that's kind of Fox anyway. So I mean, but in terms of Marvel Studios, you know, they've got Black Panther, they've got Avengers, and they've got something else next year as well. But for the life of me, I can't think what it is. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, is that out next year?
Yeah, that's totally next year. And then you've got so you've got 3 next year, and I mean, because this year is the first year with 3 Marvel Studios films, and it's basically, I think it's just going to be par for the course from there. But I like the fact that the February one, is kind of taking a bit of a risk. You know, I mean, like, summer is going to be Infinity War. We all know it's going to make a fucking shit ton of money. So, you know, but Black Panther, I think, is gonna strike at an interesting time, because if we have another Oscars so white situation, this is going to be a couple weeks before the Oscars, or which could get it some positivity going, or if it's actually quite a good year for minority cinema at the Oscars, then it could be striking while the iron's hot there as well. And I don't think they base their decision on when the fucking Oscars fall, but I think it's very serendipitous timing.
I think it's very much to kind of go. It's to launch it as the almost like the first blockbuster of the year.
Totally.
Which is random that the first blockbuster of the year is coming so early this year. It's like saying, right, you've had all the post awards season stuff. Bang! Here's the fun fucking movies.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, blockbusters can launch any time of the year now. I mean, we've got the mighty Geostorm out this weekend, and you know, it's coming out in October. You know, it does. I mean, you've also got Thor Ragnarok coming out 4 days later in the UK, but you know that doesn't matter because we've got Geostorm. Which, by the way, I'm quite looking forward to not having to watch that trailer in front of things again.
Yes, yeah, and I'm the same with that. It did kind of take over from Kingsman as the trailer that I didn't want to watch. I mean, already I've only seen it in front of one fucking film, but already I have a feeling that every time the fucking Churchill fucking trailer comes on, I'm gonna go, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that's going to be in front of everything.
Yeah,
that's a good shout, actually. Yeah, that was in front of Snowman for me as well, actually. Yeah, so Black Panther, good.
Yeah. I'm not as big a fan of the world building as you are, to be honest. That worries me. It looks like a CGI. It looks very CGI.
So did 4. You know, but there was some interesting production design and colours and stuff going on with that. So,
yeah, it is. I think as a whole, it'll look a lot better than I thought it did in the trailer. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair. I mean, God, who's shooting it? Is it Bradford Young?
Is it? Is it Bradford Young? Oh,
I think it might be. And God, if it's not, that's going to make me seem very. Well, it's a black-centric film, so they got a black cinematographer and a fucking...
But if it is a little bit like... It's a predominantly black cast, it's a black director, it's a black cinematographer. It's kind of a little bit like, right, do they need to be? Have you chosen these people because this, or have you chosen them because they're incredibly talented people? Right. Bradford Young is...
I'm just immensely racist, apparently, because...
Is it not?
No, Rachel Morrison, who is... it looks to be a white woman who shot... Yeah, I feel fucking horrible. Bradford Young, he's doing something big, though. No, this is bothering me now. Bradford Young's doing something.
Yeah, he is. He's a fantastic cinematographer. So not only are you racist, you're also misogynist as well. That would appear then.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, who knew?
What's she shot then? The name rings a bell. Duh.
It's good looking for right. Fucking Solo. He's shooting Solo. I knew it was something big.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, she did Dope. Station, Cake, Sound of My Voice. quite indie, but she's jumped up. Fair play.
Did she do Fruitvale Station? You said. I've got that's what's it in it?
The Cougs.
Yeah, Ryan Coolidge. Cool. Yes. What else real-wise you seen then?
I think that's it. Fucking hell, man! She shot Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie.
Oh.
Oh God, were you there at Fright Fest?
Yeah. When when Brad showed Tim and Eric the review that Jordan had written.
Poor Jordan.
And then pointed at Jordan and went, he wrote this. And it was scathing.
Like, that was a fucking dick move, man. I mean, like, I know everybody had a bit to drink and whatnot, but still, Jesus Christ.
The thing is, they were ridiculously nice about it.
Yeah, they were. They
were ridiculously nice about it. Which kind of got Jordan to pick up. That was the same year that Jordan became everybody told. Is it Paul Hyatt, the cinematographer and editor of and director of the terrible film Seasoning House, to shut the fuck up when he was talking through somebody's movie?
Yeah.
That was fantastic. The way that he did it was like, excuse me, yeah. We sat through your shitty movie. Can you shut the fuck up, please, and let us watch this?
Yeah, it was. God, that Fright Fest was weird. That was a fucking weird weekend. That was the rapey one, wasn't it?
It was the rapey one where we're like going, it's not just us, is it? But it seems a little bit. It was nice to watch a film that didn't have rape in it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, I think I'm good, mate. You go ahead if you got any.
I'm trying to think. No, I think that's about it, really, to be honest. I think, let me just double check. Sure, there was something else that I'd forgotten. Was it Star Wars last week? The new Star Wars trailer? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Becky was saying you were a minge-faced joy assassin.
Yes, she did, yes. Yes, my wife loves me. So... Yeah. So it's me. I keep forgetting it's me. It's me who's steering the ship. Right. So the Snowman. Let's delve into that. It's a crime thriller directed by Tomas Alfredson, based on a Joe Nesbo book by the same name, The Snowman, which is part of a series of the Harry Hole detective. Stars Michael Fassbender, Rebecca Ferguson, Charlotte Gainsborough's in there, J.K. Simmons is in there. We promise you, Val Kilmer is in there. But yes, that's interesting enough. It was produced by Martin Scorsese. This movie,
edited by Thelma Schoonmaker.
Thelma Schoonmaker is the listed editor on the film, isn't she?
Yes.
It is only the second non-Scorsese movie she has edited in the past 20 years, and only actually, I think, the third non-Martin Scorsese movie she's ever edited, and she took over editing duties from somebody else.
Oh, did she? Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is kind of making some sense, isn't it? Right. Story is, the film opens up with a pre-credits scene of a police officer arriving at a house and asking a child some questions, and every time he gets the question wrong, he smacks the mother of the child in the head, and then he goes upstairs, has his way with her, and then leaves, and the mother, all spoils all the time, gets in the car, drives off with the kid, drives in the middle of the lake, ice cracks, the kid gets out of the car, and the mother just sits there and lets herself sink into the frozen lake and drift away in the car, thus essentially committing suicide. We then fast forward some 30 years later, would you say? I think it is, yeah?
Yeah.
To Detective Harry Hole, played by Michael Fassbender, who is a former great detective who is now an alcoholic who seems to just kind of flip between big case to big case. And he's partnered up with Katrine Bratt, played by Rebecca Ferguson, and they're investigating the serial killer nicknamed the Snowman. However, is it actually mentioned in the film that he's nicknamed the Snowman?
No.
Things start to come together with different people doing different things. Essentially, women keep going missing, and this seems to be the killer's MO, is that he's possibly targeting women who have had abortions. So this is going to go down so well in our current climate.
Yeah.
Yes. He is not a pro-choice serial killer. Ian, what did you think of the Snowman?
What I thought was, what the fuck was that? It is the biggest waste of talented people I've seen in a film in I genuinely don't know how long. Like, everything about this, like, on paper, is classy as fuck. And
yes.
You've got, and the result is this really weirdly generic, oddly fucking hilarious at points bag of what the shit is this? Which Alfredson has already come out and said, like, less than a week after it came out, before it's even come out in the US, has come out and said they didn't get to shoot enough of what they wanted to do. The production had to start in a hurry because they got the money quicker than they thought they were going to. You know, it was actually shot, like, last year and then had reshoots this year. And it is a fucking mess. It's not incoherent, but it just, what is the focus of the film? Is it Harry Hole's? Is it Harry Hole? Is it his relationship with his ex and his ex's son? Is it this weird, interesting relationship he's got with his ex's new partner, which I thought, until it turns out the new partner was just the killer all along, was a really interesting portrayal of, like, an ex dealing with the partner's new love. You know, like, I thought, like, the bit where he covers for him when he's on the train and says, "Oh, I completely forgot that he phoned. I'm sorry, that was my fault." I just thought that was a really nice little character moment. And then it's like, oh no, he's the killer. You know, there's not a wit. There's not an ounce of wit or invention here, unless you count Alfredson setting himself a task of making snowmen with stupid fucking smiles on their faces as threatening as possible and failing miserably as invention. The thing is, the cast make it not terrible because they're all serviceable apart from one exception, and I don't really think it's his fault. But it just, I don't know what the film was trying to say. And by the end, it just, like, I mean, funnily enough, a guy I work with ended up being, I was on the end of one row, and then there was the stairs, and then a guy I work with who I didn't know was going to be there was on the end of the other row, like, right next to me. And he said to me after, "I don't know how you dealt with the people chatting all the way through it behind you. You got the patience of a saint." Actually, no, I do know how you dealt with it. Was it the only thing keeping you awake? Because it was the only thing keeping me awake. And it was just like, I was thinking about it. It was like, yeah, they were chatting throughout the whole film. The whole film, these two people were talking. And I didn't give a fuck.
Within seconds, I'd have been over saying, "Shut the fuck up." No,
the thing is, I didn't care. It was just like, I can't make the effort for this film. I can't make the effort. I can't, like, I don't care. It is, like, the thing is, I wasn't particularly looking forward to it because I thought it was weird that it wasn't playing any festivals whatsoever. So I was already a little bit like, let's see how this goes. But in terms of on paper, this thing's got to be the disappointment of the year.
Yeah. The thing is, the pre-credits bit is a bit crap. It is a bit.
The look on her face. What direction was that woman given?
Well, I'm gonna come to the direction and Thomas Alfredson in a second, actually. Right. So the pre-credits bit's crap. I actually think the first hour is all right. All right. I'm not going any further than all right, but I wasn't bored in the first hour. And then I looked at my watch at one point, and not because I was bored, just because I was curious as to what time it was, because I wanted to see if I could start having my drink or not, because I was quite thirsty.
Oh, yeah.
And so I looked and was like, shit, it's been an hour and 5 minutes gone, and this is a 2-hour movie. I thought, oh, bloody hell, that's gone quick. And I thought, all right, do you know what? I'm all right. Thought this was going to be a bit of a slog. And then, about 20 minutes later, I was going, yep, this is a slog. This is getting to be a slog. It's getting a bit silly. It's getting a bit, I don't know what's going on. Oh, well, he wasn't in it very much, was he? And then, J.K. Simmons is here, though, so this should brighten everything up. Oh, no, he's a dick. Oh, that guy is just creepy. And I just got to the point, I was like, Rebecca Ferguson goes from being a solid detective who is essentially using Fassbender because he's a very good detective to help her. And if essentially she's treating it like her case that she's getting control of because of his name. She's using his notoriety and his past record to ensure that she gets essentially the resources to do this case. And then they just which is really interesting. And he's even allowing her the freedom to essentially, he's almost treating it like it is as much her case as it is his. He's not trying to pull rank or anything like that. He's off doing his bit and leaving her to do the bulk of the work. He's just investigating little bits that pique his interest. But you get the feeling that he would have been including her with everything. But then she just goes off in a completely fucking different direction. And her motivation completely fucking changes. Charlotte Gainsborough's character is all over the place, but I think that's kind of Charlotte Gainsborough's kind of always all over the place. Her characters are always that slightly cracked character. Val Kilmer's character is, and I completely agree. He's dubbed. There's no doubt about it. He's dubbed, but I think that could have been to do with the fact that he's had throat cancer.
Well, yeah, 100%. It's really
it's jarring.
Yeah, it is. It is just, it completely takes you out of it. And especially with the drunken performance that he's doing, dubbed, it's too odd in this film that is trying to be really serious.
It is, yeah. And the thing is, as well, there's got to be more. There might not, but I'm kind of saying to myself, there's got to be more to get Kilmer. There should be more.
Yeah, you think so?
To get Kilmer, because he's one of the, when you go back and you look back at things like Tombstone and Heat, he's one of the biggest kind of fucking, oh God, I wish it hadn't gone wrong. Because there's no denying that it went wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because we could be speaking about Val Kilmer now. I genuinely believe this. Had it not, whatever went wrong, or anything like that, whichever wrong path he went down, or decisions he made, or people he pissed off, or whatever it was that he did, I think we could be talking about him the same about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, it could well be, to be fair. Yeah, sure.
Because I think you go hard-pressed. For me, his Doc Holliday is probably the greatest performance to not even get an Oscar nomination as a supporting character. That guy should have fucking walked away with every single award that year because it's incredible. And then now he's doing this. Which, then you're also looking at it and going, well, J.K. Simmons is doing this, Rebecca Ferguson's doing this, Michael Fassbender's doing this, Charlotte Gainsbourg, you could kind of see her doing this anyway, because she just kind of flips around doing whatever the fuck she wants, and she's usually very good in what she does. She plays a certain type of character, and this character suited it. But it seems to have all its fucking ducks in a row. And then it just starts picking them out and then just fucking throwing them into that frozen lake. And they're just fucking spinning around and it's going, somebody go and catch some of those. And everyone just goes, ah, and there's people trying to catch them, but the ices just keep breaking and people fall in, so that duck fucking disappears. And then they're left with one duck and they go, well, let's fucking do this. And it's like fucking all mashed up and fucking mangled. And we get just a really weird ending that you kind of go, are you seriously trying to set up a fucking sequel?
Yeah.
Have you watched it? And this whole thing brings me back to, right, is Tomas Alfredson a good filmmaker, or did he just happen to make a good film when he made Let the Right One In?
I really, really rate Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That thing is fucking... for me, that thing is brilliant.
You see, I need to rewatch Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy because I didn't like it. But on the surface, on the face of it, it should be fantastic based on the cast, the source material, everything. But I didn't get on with it in the cinema. Really should give it another watch. But then I do think about it and think I should give it another watch. But has anybody in the world watched Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy more than once?
I've seen it twice.
Have you? So you've seen it twice, and did you enjoy it the second time?
Yeah.
I will give it another go, but I'm just a little bit like, he's made 2 films in what? When was Let Me In? Let Right One In? Was it 2011? It was shot 2010.
Let the Right One In was like pre-2010, bud.
Was it?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. So in nearly a decade, he's made 2 other movies, and one of them was rushed, and and the executive producer had to get his mate to come in and edit it. What the fuck happened?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are odd choices all the way through. I mean, even little things like when Fassbender breaks into Ferguson's place, and then she kind of goes at him, and then he just kind of picks her up and almost like choke slams her into the floor. And It's a bit like that escalated quickly. It's just odd moments, like the bit where he walks into his house and it's the guy he thinks is the guy who's like fumigating his place, dancing, and he just shoots at him and he just kind of like walks up to him and dances and walks out again. It's like, okay, that's the killer. Obviously, that's killer. But what was he actually doing there?
Yeah, there's stuff like that that just don't go anywhere.
I mean, the J.K. Simmons bit as well, it's just a red herring. It's got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, and the Charlotte Gainsbourg was saying to Fassbender, he wants to know who his father is, and I just don't think I'm ready to tell him yet. And then that goes nowhere.
Mm. And I mean,
it's like, hang on a minute. So is it Fassbender? Is he actually the father, or is it somebody else that's cropped up? Is it? I don't know. It's a strange bit of dialogue to have in there. It seems like it's going somewhere, but it's clearly not.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like the whole relationship that he has with his ex's son, which is quite interesting. Like, just again, I mean, there's no point to it other than the general, fathers and their kids. Yeah.
Also, he's an alcoholic who we don't really see drink that much.
No, he wakes up a couple of times. That's about. Well, no, I mean, the whole thing is like, if he's got a case and he stops drinking, he's got something to focus on.
Which, is a fair argument, but it just. And had Rebecca Ferguson's character gone rogue? Was she supposed to be there? If she wasn't, would she really been given those cases? And would she have been given that thing the fingerprint thing? If we're in Norway, why does everybody just have a completely different accent? I mean, that's fine, but there's a lot of accents in this.
Yeah,
there's even people putting on accents.
Yeah, quite. I mean, J.K. Simmons tries his best. I mean, at least he's giving a go at it. Like Rebecca Ferguson and Michael Fassbender are basically doing English.
Which is weird because one of them's Irish and one of them's actually from Denmark. Is Rebecca Ferguson from?
She's Scandinavian. Yeah. It's I don't know, and I mean, like both Rebecca Ferguson and Michael Fassbender kind of feel like people who they're really trying to make huge movie stars, and it's kind of not happening.
Yeah, Fassbender is. I think he's better as a supporting role or a lead in a smaller movie.
But I mean, what has Fassbender been in this year? He's been in Assassin's Creed, which did nothing.
Yeah.
He's been in Alien Covenant, which made markedly less than Prometheus and has basically derailed the Alien franchise for now, at least.
Yeah.
He was in Trespass Against Us, which did fuck all. It's literally the man's charm alone is the reason why people don't write fucking articles about how he's overrated and overpaid. Because if he was... Fuck, man. I mean, Christ. If he... I'm trying to think of an example here. I don't know. If he was Adam Sandler, people would be fucking writing op-ed pieces about how he's past it and it's not going to happen and blah, 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 blah. But because he's charming and he's sexy, and he's part of a hot couple, he seems to be able to get away with it. I like Michael Fassbender, but the man needs a hit.
Do you know what I think Michael Fassbender's thing is? I think he's a victim of kind of his own early success, and the fact that he had a fucking when he. The thing is, there's a lot of top actors where they say once you get that opportunity, you've got to fucking take it. Fassbender fucking took his opportunity like a motherfucker, and went on to have, even when they weren't great films, like for instance, like A Dangerous Method or Centurion, for instance, they aren't great movies. They're actually really interesting movies, at least. And then it just, it's you look at it. He had Frank, Slow West, Macbeth, Steve Jobs were all very solid. But then you went to X-Men Apocalypse, The Light Between Oceans, Trespass Against Us, Assassin's Creed, Song to Song, Alien Covenant, and The Snowman. I mean, they're not great.
I mean, I would say if his career
I've not seen Song to Song.
If it had gone better in the last year or so, he would not be rocking back up for the new X-Men film. McAvoy, yeah, I can see it. Even though Lawrence is doing the new one as well, isn't she?
Yes, she is. But I think with Lawrence, it literally is. They're going, right, you're in a movie with Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, and all these other actors, and you're going to be the highest paid person in it. And that's how we're gonna pitch it to Hollywood press is look at this movie with these A-list people in it who aren't like the A-list used to be, where it used to be Clooney, Pitt, Damon, blah and blah and blah. But you could call Fassbender A-list, and you could blag that McAvoy is A-list in a way, and say, right, but you're fucking paid almost fucking double what these guys are going to get paid.
Didn't realise Jessica Chastain's in the new X-Men. That's interesting.
Is she? That is interesting. So I think that's what they're gonna that's how they're gonna pitch it. McAvoy has basically said he enjoys doing the X-Men movies, and he said that if I do an X-Men movie, it means that I can afford to do this, and this. Simple as that. He works on the one for them, three for me. One for them, three for me.
Yeah.
And he's very good at it. And I think that maybe to an extent, Fassbender kind of maybe needs to go back to doing that a little bit.
Yeah, no, quite. I don't know. I mean, like, his agent's done some really good stuff for him. It's I don't know.
It's not
fair
quite
play.
worked out the past couple of years.
But you know what? He's married to Alicia Vikander, so what do we know?
Yeah, he's doing something right by being a handsome motherfucker, isn't he?
But yeah, I don't know. The Snowman, I think it's definitely shit.
Yeah, I am just, which is really disappointing.
It is. It is mental that this film turned out this rough. I like. It's really, really, really disheartening. But yeah.
Yeah. So I think the audience. Let's have a look. See what our poll came out with. The Snowman, definitely not shit. 14%. Touching cloth, 21%, and shit, 65%.
How many votes?
14.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, universally not good. Yeah, a big disappointment. I think, like you say, it is one of the bigger disappointments of the year. What should we do next? We do the Babysitter or the Meyerowitz stories?
I'd like to do the Babysitter just because there's a bit of topsy-turvyness going on, I think.
Yes. All right. Let's do the Babysitter, a teen horror comedy directed by McG. Yes, directed by McG. Star Samara Weaving, Judah Lewis, Hannah May Lee, Robbie Armell, and Bella Thorne. It's a Netflix original movie. Right. Well, story. Cole Johnson is a 12-year-old kid who still has a babysitter and is kind of aware that it's weird that he still has a babysitter. But he kind of likes still having a babysitter because the babysitter is played by Samara Weaving. And I think there's two things there. One, she's hot. And two, she's kind of like a good friend to him or a confidant and kind of understands that he has certain neurosis, would you call it, in the fact that he's quite frankly scared of fucking everything.
Yeah.
And she kind of understands that. But he doesn't, the kid isn't, he's a little bit nerdy in a way, but he's not a social outcast nerdy. He's just a little bit neurotic, we'll say. He is talking to his friend who lives across the street, who tells him, what he should do is stay up after he's been sent to bed. He should stay up to see what his babysitter's doing because she says that she's convinced that she's having boys round and is having some kind of orgy. So what does he do? He stays up. Loads of other teenagers come round and he witnesses what he thinks is an orgy, but it's actually not, is it? It's a sacrifice. Mm-hmm. The Babysitter. Ian, what did you think?
And this is one of my pleasant surprises of the year. I had fun with this. I will say I watched most of it half cut after a wedding reception that we went to on Saturday night. So I was a little bit bleary-eyed and just ready for nonsense. And that's what I got. It knows exactly what it is. It's not perfect, but I laughed quite a few times. I thought it got the gore right on when it needed to, and I don't know, just it's a film that's gleeful about what it's doing. Solid climax as well, and I think it's McGee's best film in a fucking age, and good for him. I'd watch more of this kind of stuff from him, to be honest. I mean, what do you think, Mark?
I really enjoyed it. If I were to make honestly, I think if I was to make a top 10 of my year so far, I think it'd sneak in that top 10.
I haven't really thought about it, but if there was a top 20, I think it would be it could be a contender in there.
Yeah, it absolutely knows what it's doing. It knows what it wants to do. It knows what it's doing. It's well executed. It's clearly written, directed, and starring the cast. I go as far as to say the three main actors in it. So Samara Weaving, Judah Lewis, and Robbie Amell. I think that they all clearly have a good understanding of horror. And the genre. There's a bit where Robbie Amell is chasing Cole, the kid, and he's in a treehouse, and he's kind of like stalking around the treehouse, and he's doing the Jason Voorhees theme tune essentially. Yeah. And it's like, do you know what? He's doing that so well, and it's so perfect that it can't be that McGee's said to him, do this. He's got to have come up with that himself.
Okay.
Because it's just so note perfect. And I've seen Robbie Amell in quite a few things, and he's actually quite a good actor, actually, in everything I've seen him in. He's always been really quite entertaining. He was the guy in the Duff, which is a terrible movie, but he's the best thing in it by a long fucking way. Which is weird because you'd think by looking at him that he's just going to be the token hot guy. It has possibly one of my favourite movie moments in cinema this year, which is a joke which I am still laughing about, which is when Cole comes to what is it, and he's tied to the chair, and the first thing he says is, "Why isn't he wearing a shirt?"
Yeah.
Fucking killed me. Like, literally fucking killed me. Not only did it kill me, I watched the trailer before I watched the movie to see if it was something we wanted to watch on Saturday night, and that joke is in the trailer, and I burst out laughing. And then when it happened in the movie, even though I knew it was coming, I still burst out laughing. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic. It's pitching itself to everybody. So you've got a decent amount of gore in it. There's a decent amount of comedy in it. There's some fun kind of kids not really knowing what's going on stuff. There's an insanely hot psycho chick in it, which is just fucking catnip to me. And you've got a hot guy without a shirt on for like literally half the movie.
I mean, yeah, just the fact that, I don't know, there's like characters in this who who know they need to kill him, but at the same time, I don't know, they're weirdly not taking it seriously and trying to help him out as well. Like, the side bit with Robbie Amell, like basically trying to teach him how to take on a bully. And I just like, at the end of it, it's like, you got guts, kid. I like you. I got to kill you, but I like you. You're a good kid. It's great. And the whole thing with it's just the whole thing with the bully, and just like how he tries to stand up to the bully and he's just shit at it.
Yeah, the pep talk he gives him before, and he's like, "What's going on? Why are you doing this?"
Yeah,
you got to stand up to that kid. Keep your ground. He's like, "What? All right, fine."
Yeah.
He's brilliant. I mean, Bella Thorne's entertaining in it.
Yeah,
it's
she's
just
good.
Like she's very much aware of what she's doing. The fact that she responds to the question of why he's not wearing a shirt, and you've got the black dude going, "What? Why is that the first question?" And then she just goes, "Well, seriously, do you have to ask that?" And then Robbie Amell just kind of looks down and goes, just kind of like looks at himself and just kind of shrugs his shoulders at the kid. And then the audience kind of looks at it and goes, "Yeah, fair point, actually. Yeah, fair point. If she's going to wear those shorts, then he shouldn't wear a shirt. Fair enough."
Yeah.
The fact that they've stuck Bella Thorne in a cheerleading outfit, it's McGee almost sticking two fingers up at the audience and going, "Have that, but do you know what? We're not going to show you any titties or any female nudity at all, but this guy's going to run around not wearing a fucking shirt for ages. Have it." And I'm watching it going, this is brilliant. The bit where she's dancing with the kid is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love their relationship, and then the fact that she's still being super fucking nice to him. the only criticism I've got of this movie is I wish they hadn't killed her off so we could have another movie.
Oh, did you not see the mid-credits bit?
No. There's a mid-credits bit. I did not see the mid-credits bit.
Yeah, it's basically like the police are looking around the house and stuff, and then she kind of like comes at them.
Oh, I need to watch that later. That is shit. So there's going to be a Babysitter too.
They seem to imply it, yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Because it's been well received, and I could certainly see them getting a number 2 out of this. Yeah, it's a lot more fun than it has any right to be.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. Because I don't know. I mean, like did we talk about Little Evil? I can't even remember.
Yeah,
now.
we did.
Yeah, we did like really briefly, didn't we?
I watched it and then 3 days later forgot literally the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, and I mean that's a film where it is just like, right, yeah, fine, okay, off into the ether that goes. But this, I don't know, this actually feels like McG gives a fuck, and it's visually interesting, and it stages the action well, and you know the bit at the end with the kid driving the car and whatnot, and then just crashing it into the house is great. You know, and it's it's a great deal of fun. I mean, it is throwaway, but it's memorable. And I just good on McG.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because I didn't expect it from McG. I'll be honest. I was a little bit like, it's a weird film for McG, but then when you think about it, it's kind of not actually.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like the thing is, I like the fact that he's obviously, you know, his cinematic reputation has been going down, down, down. And, you know, Netflix has given him some money and basically gone, right, do what you want. And he's come up with this. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, that the gore's good. It's interesting. It's well written. It goes through. It's, you know, there's a lot going on in it, but it's simplistic as well. It knows its limits. It knows it needs to get in, get its shit done, and get the fuck out in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to watching it again. And I will be watching that mid-credit sequence after we've finished podcasting, just so I can see it happening.
Very quick, but you'll like it if that's what you're wanting. Yeah.
And Samara Weaving is fantastic in it.
Oh,
not just because she is incredibly pretty, which I think is undeniable, but also as well, she's very charismatic. Yeah, she's
actually just to say, she's actually in the Joe Lynch film Mayhem, which played Fright Fest. Very different character, and seems to be playing it older as well. And I did not fucking recognise her from that. It was only when I was writing up my review and went on IMDb, it was like, fuck, she was in that as well. And it's she could do other things, is what I'm trying to say. So good for her.
Yes, and of course, she's Hugo Weaving's niece, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's Hugo Weaving's niece. But I really, really enjoyed The Babysitter. I was quite surprised by it and quite taken back at how much I enjoyed it. And it's on Netflix, so essentially you can watch it for fucking free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, audience poll on that. Less to sort of pick through, I think, with that than the Snowman for sure. But audience poll, definitely not shit, 56%. Touching cloth, 11%, and shit, 33%. So more positive than that. You know, it's as with any type of film like that type of film that it is, you're not going to be able to please everybody with that type of movie.
Yeah, quite.
It's not aimed at pleasing everybody. It's aimed at pleasing the people who are going to get on with it.
Mm.
Do you want to do some what we've been watching, then moving to Meyerowitz stories, or have you?
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've actually only got one thing, and it's another Netflix film.
Oh, go on then. What is it?
Kidnap. So this is the Halle Berry film, which was in US cinemas in August, made $30 million, which isn't nothing, but Netflix bought the rights to it in the UK, so it's a Netflix original over here. So, yeah, Kidnap. basically, Halle Berry, she's got a kid. Kid gets kidnapped. She gets in her car, drives off after the people who stole him in the car. And there's a good half an hour or so, which is basically like a car chase. But it's quite an interesting car chase in a way, because it's quite stop-starty. There's traffic and there's roadworks, and it's like kind of tension about like, well, how the fuck is she going to get to them now because of this, and like she finds ways and things like that, and it's I don't know, it's actually kind of more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, the stuff before and after that, not great. There's an introductory scene which essentially plays as a short film, where it's Halle Berry working as a waitress, and her son's there and like kind of waiting for her because like she's waiting for someone to like take her off the shift so she can take her son to the park, and they're all these customers, and she's having a really bad day, and there's like this one customer who's being an absolute bitch to her, and there's another like customer who's like just like excuse me, miss, excuse me, and you're thinking like, right, are these people all going to come back into it? And then after that, the park, and then like 10 minutes later, the kid gets kidnapped, and none of those characters are ever in it again. And it was a bit like, well, what the fuck was that about? They were making a really big deal about this bitch character being really sarky to her, and then it kind of almost felt like the film was kickstarted. And they said, if you give us $10,000, you can be one of the customers in this restaurant. Like, and it's like that's how they funded the film or something. It's really weird. It's just this like really isolated, because it means absolutely nothing to the rest of the film. So after the car chasey stuff, it kind of just turns very generic. Like, weirdly, Halle Berry does Taken, but with less guns.
Which seems to be now I think that's a pitch to launch, because there's been a lot of actors where you kind of looked at it and gone, right, so that film essentially it has been pitched to Sean Penn, Idris Elba. There's more, I'm sure. There's more Halle Berry, same with this, and I'm sure there's other ones where it's gone, basically it's going to be your Taken, and they've gone, ooh, I could do this from that sweet Taken money.
Yeah, quite. The thing is, I had a decent enough time with it. It's like an hour and a half long, so it's kind of hard to like hate it, really. I
think it's hard to not have a decent time, to be honest, with Halle Berry movies a lot of the time.
Yeah, she's good as well. You know, yeah. I mean, like, she's got a really good, like, panicked, holy fucking shit, my kid's gone look on her face, which is kind of all her character needs for a lot of it.
Because what was that one that we both kind of enjoyed, where she played with Abigail Breslin, a WWE movie? Where she played I can't remember what it was called, but she played a emergency response controller.
Oh, what the fuck was that called?
Yeah, I think we both kind of...
The Call? Was it?
I think it could be The Call, yeah. I'll have a check now. It was something like that, The Call. But I remember we kind of went, do you know what?
Yeah, it's totally bad. The Call. It was
The Call, yeah.
Pulled that out of my arse.
Yeah, oh, yes, with Abigail Breslin and Morris Chestnut.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Brad Anderson, wasn't it? That's right, yeah.
Yes, it was, yeah. Morris Chestnut. My gravy boat's named after Morris Chestnut.
Nice.
That's not a euphemism. Literally, my gravy boat is named Morris Chestnut, and I have a butter dish called Colin Salmon.
This is the world of Mark, everybody. The world of Mark.
I'm not even joking. They're both cows.
Okay. All right. Let's move it along. It's worth a go. It's not amazing, but it's also not laughable. It's absolutely fine.
Absolutely Fine is I think that movie will take being called Absolutely Fine.
Yeah, but to be honest, it's the kind of thing that could be a poster quote for it, I think.
It would, yeah. They'd look through and they'd go, ooh, Dude and Monkey said, we're absolutely fine. Stick it on the poster. It's the best we're going to get.
They can have it. They can have it.
They can have it, yeah. Cool, yeah. Anything else you've watched this week then? Is it just that along with
I did the Testament of Dr. Mabusa as well, but that's some Patreon shit. So
cool.
Yeah.
I have a couple of Patreon movies, so I'll discuss those on the Patreon. But I also watched Snowden. Finally got round to that,
yeah.
Which took me a while because
film.
What?
Sorry. It's a stupid fucking film. Sorry.
You didn't get on with it, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's I like Oliver Stone movies. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I actually quite like Shailene Woodley, actually, to be honest. It's got a really good cast, actually, this movie. But yeah, it's not perfect. I get the feeling that if a 40-year-old Oliver Stone made this movie, it'd be a lot better than a 65-year-old Oliver Stone making this movie. Because I think he's lost a little bit of his bite, I think. You know, he was the guy who asked very kind of hard questions and took often a very intelligent but quite a very aggressive view on things. Whereas with Snowden, it seems to be it wants to be almost taking a partisan look at it, but also as well it wants to tell you how wrong what these people were doing. But at the same time, it just seems a bit of a confused movie at points. I actually think that all the cast are quite good in it, but I don't know whether it's a story that needed a few years on it to get told. I think there's too much of a rush nowadays for things to happen, and then for us to get a fucking movie about it, because it's kind of like, right, well, hang on a minute. There's going to be more to this story that's not come out yet, and there's certainly bits that we're having to separate the truth from the lie and the spin from the shadow with it, and then to do a film about people that are very much still alive and kicking and around, but also to, I don't know, it's very difficult to tell a full story of it when you're passing over 10 years worth of events, or 9 years worth of events that actually only happened a couple of years ago. It's that, and it's, I think also as well, you've got people who you could definitely see that you could predict where everybody starring in this movie is on one side of it.
Yeah,
they're not on another side. They're all there to tell Edward Snowden's story because they see what he did as right. Now, I agree. I see what he did as right, but the film's is trying to not say that look, what he did was right. It's trying to say, you decide whether or not you think it's right. We're going to show you all of the reasons why he did it and why he was in a better position to.
The film would help itself with that if it then didn't end with 5 minutes of the actual Edward Snowden talking.
Yes, absolutely. It shouldn't. That shouldn't have happened. And also as well, it was a little bit, the fact that it tried to mix together the footage for how it's showing you things was a little bit like, you don't need to do that, Oliver. It's not that type of movie.
I mean, the thing is as well, it also completely shows up how shit Joseph Gordon-Levitt's impression of him is, and it's not. It's
See,
not.
I thought it was all right.
No, Matt, no, it's not a performance. It's a fucking impression, and it's a bad one.
The voice.
I think the performance, like, it just, I was taken out of it throughout because it's like Joseph Gordon-Levitt trying to do French in The Walk, and it just, the performance is the fucking voice.
I could see how that could bother you. Absolutely. I think that my bad performance in it was Zachary Quinto, to be honest. And he's not in it a lot, but when he is, he's not very good.
I don't remember. It's been a while, in fairness.
Yeah, Melissa Leo's very good in it, and Shailene Woodley's very good in it. Tom Wilkinson's Tom Wilkinson. But yeah, it's just. Do you know what the weird thing is? I enjoyed it, but it should be a better movie. But it should be made in 15, 20 years' time. Not now. We've had it too much, where this rush to get things out, while the events are still unfolding, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's like World Trade Center in United 93 and stuff like that, and it's also, I mean, the fact that a lot of this stuff is quite raw, and it's also kind of, we're still feeling the repercussions, like, directly. But also, it just, people, after it's all been through the news cycle and it's been through social media and all this kind of stuff, people just don't want to think about some things for a while. They want to wait and then reflect on it later. And I think you're absolutely spot on there, bud.
Yeah, and the thing is, apparently, the team behind Last Week Tonight are in talks with HBO to do a series of documentary films. And one of the ones that is being pitched is Edward Snowden.
Okay.
And I'm looking at that going, I already think that will give us more of an insight and be more measured than this movie is.
Sure.
They started shooting this movie in 2014. They started shooting this movie
really early. 9
months after the world knew who Edward Snowden was. It's not even a year.
You have to wonder if Stone was just like, I'm interested in making a movie about this, and some financiers were like, here's money, go make it now.
Yeah, that's it. And it was. It's. I don't know if far as say it's a missed opportunity. I think I enjoyed it because I like Oliver Stone movies, but it's better. But it should have been better in 10 years' time.
Agreed. All right, fair enough.
Right. The final of our triple bill of reviews is the Meyerowitz stories, new and selected. It's another Netflix original. This one's written and directed by Noah Baumbach. It stars Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, Dustin Hoffman, Emma Thompson, and who else is in there? People in there, isn't there? Grace Van Patten is in there. Rebecca Miller and Elizabeth Marvel is also in there. Have I said Emma Thompson? I think I have, haven't I?
Yeah, you have,
yeah. So it's the story of siblings played by Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, and Elizabeth Marvel. Adam Sandler's character Danny and Elizabeth Marvel's character Jean are biological brother and sister, and Matthew, played by Ben Stiller, is their half brother.
Mm-hmm.
They all share the same dad, Harold Meyerowitz, played by Dustin Hoffman, who is a sculptor and an artist who is, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I think he's kind of bitter about his lack of, I wouldn't say success, but lack of recognition, that's the perfect word for it, that he's received, and his kids all seem to have different levels of dysfunctionality with their relationship to him and their general relationships outside of him. Emma Thompson plays his new wife, who is not the mother of any of these kids, is she?
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Yeah. Who is an alcoholic, essentially. But Harold Meyerowitz is either willfully ignorant of this or is in complete denial of it. Ian, the Meyerowitz stories. What did you make of it?
Yeah, so I mean, I've got a spotty track record with Noah Baumbach. Even though sometimes I think maybe I just need to kind of rewatch his stuff because I feel like I don't like Noah Baumbach, but then it's like I like Mistress America. I liked While We're Young. I like The Squid and the Whale. I like Margot at the Wedding.
That's pretty much that. Yeah, you like quite a lot then.
Yeah, I mean, like the only one I didn't like was Greenberg, but I fucking hated Greenberg when I watched it. But maybe now I'd go back to it and I'd enjoy it. I don't know.
You see, that's weird. That because Greenberg's one of the ones that I don't mind.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I mean, it's yeah, and I liked this. I'm not going to say it's amazing. But I liked it. I liked the dysfunctional relationships, and there were some lines that made me laugh out loud. There's a solid reference to Willem Dafoe in the film. A line that Emma Thompson has about him, which I was a fan of, and I was glad for the final the final 5 minutes of the film, because I almost felt like it was letting Dustin Hoffman's character off, and I'm glad it didn't. I enjoyed my time with it. I mean, it was one where I meant to like watch half of it one day, half of it the other, because like I had to go to bed, but then I just ended up watching the whole thing because I was enjoying my time with it. I'm intrigued to see what you think. So I think you didn't like it.
No, I thought it was excruciating, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
For all cards on the table, I quite enjoyed Greenberg. I can see why people wouldn't enjoy Greenberg. I actually don't think Greenberg's a very good film. I just think that I kind of enjoyed its cantankerousness. But I also think that it has there's a lot of unpleasantness in Greenberg as well. I didn't get on with a lot of his other movies. I don't get along with the way that he pitches. I have problems with his context, and I have problems with there's an altruistic style to him. There is no denying that, and I don't get on with it, is what I would say. Fair enough. I think that that is on full display in the Meyerowitz stories, and it all pulls me back to the same thing as the same problems I've always had with Noah Baumbach. And I think that if you don't get on with his movies, I think that the opinions that I have about them are perfectly valid, and I think that they are right. But I think if you do get on with these movies, then your opinions, the people who do get on with these movies, are completely right. I think that you can have two sides of a fucking coin.
He's Marmite. He is complete Marmite, I think.
He is. I think his... I
like Francis Ha as well. Sorry.
I quite...
films apart from Greenberg.
I quite enjoyed Francis Ha, but I think I enjoyed that more because I think Greta Gerwig at that point was very charismatic as a screen presence. I don't think she is anymore. I think her affectations have gone too far the Baumbach way, to be honest. It's my issues with the film are probably the same as my issues with Noah Baumbach films as a whole. that does everything that annoys me about Noah Baumbach movies, in that it's one of those things where, in a similar way to what I said about Darren Aronofsky, in that Noah Baumbach, by his very nature, will always look around any room and go, I am the smartest, most well-read man in this room. But at the same point with Noah Baumbach, he will also go, and I've had the most dysfunctional life of anybody in this room. And that is it. It is. And the thing is, there's a level of criticism, but I can understand it. In the fact is that your problems, so anyone's problems, are always relative to their situation and to their standing and to their reach within life. So the problem of somebody who, let's say, was raised on a council estate are relative to them. The problems to somebody who was raised in a luxury apartment in Manhattan are relative to them. The problem is, I don't give a shit about British kitchen sink dramas, because I don't give a shit about those problems, and I also don't give a shit about the bourgeois problems of these people. I give a shit about the middle of that. And the problem is, Noah Baumbach seems determined to try and convince us that these problems are real and horrible. And to him, they are. And I get it. I get that the dysfunctionalness of that, and that every one of his films has an autobiographical leaning towards it, and that is fine. Him as a filmmaker, and the fact that he has a very strong and a very dedicated audience is fine. But me personally, I just don't fucking care about these, because I don't find Noah Baumbach's bourgeois leanings and his bourgeois characters, they have all the pomp and ceremony of these bourgeois intellectuals and these artistic types, but they have none of the fun or the flair of these. They're all the neurosis and the megalomania and the egotisticalness of these characters, with all the dysfunction, with none of the actual pleasantries of any of this. And that's what kind of it is. I'm watching it going, stop fucking whining. You've got Dustin Hoffman's character constantly whining about, well, I never made any money and blah and blah and blah. You're living in a house in the middle of Manhattan. I think you've done all right for yourself. But to him, he's not. Because he's constantly looking up the chain. It's about people who are never happy with their lot in life. Even if their lot's brilliant in life, they're never happy with their lot in life. And it nails down a fucking chalkboard to me.
I'm not going to argue.
Honestly, there was a point where in the movie, they're watching another one of Candice Grace Van Patten's student movies.
Yeah.
And I actually turned to Bex and went, I'd prefer to watch one of those for a fucking 2 hours than this.
What did Becky think of it?
She hated the first hour and liked the second hour.
Okay, fair enough.
That's unfair. She didn't hate the first hour. She said it's just a bit boring. So I'm not liking it, but it is a bit boring. If it's just another hour of this, then it's kind of, what's the point? She was disappointed because she was really, really looking forward to it. But she did say at one point where I paused it to go and get a drink and said, how is there still fucking half an hour left? She said, I'm actually quite enjoying it now. And I was like, I'm wanting to pull my eyes out. It was, yeah, I couldn't get on with it. Adam Sandler is playing a microcosm of every Adam Sandler character in this movie. It is he gets to do the Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore, man-child thing several times in this. It's just in a Noah Baumbach movie, so people are calling it brilliant rather than calling it, oh, here we go again.
I think he's decent, but
I think he's decent. No, I think he's decent, but he does do the sort of zero to shooting.
Yeah. There's like 3 separate occasions he does that in this film.
Yeah. Emma Thompson's just doing what Emma Thompson does now. She's basically just going. She's basically doing roles now that Cate Blanchett's looking at and going, that's what I'll be doing in 10 years' time. Dustin Hoffman's playing cranky Dustin Hoffman, and Ben Stiller is doing what Ben Stiller's done for nearly 30 years.
So it's shit then.
Yeah, I thought it was shit, but if you like this kind of thing, it's fine. However, it fucking grates me, this type of movie. It really fucking does, because this movie gets away with being like it is because people think it's smart. Because people talk smart and people talk about smart things. But then when you actually get into the minutiae of it and you break it down, they're not. There's a running fucking thing throughout the entire movie about the fact that the Whitmore might have lost the sculpture that they bought from him. And it's mentioned loads of times. And that is smart because it's the Whitmore. It's smart because it's written and directed by a smart, well-spoken man. But there is dumb fucking comedy out there. Because this is a comedy. There's no getting away from it. It's a comedy. That is fucking smarter than this. That you will get called dumb for liking. And it bothers me. Because this can get away with being like this. With having Pagina Man in it. And if you stuck that in a Kevin Smith fucking movie, it'd get fucking panned.
That's a fair point, yeah.
Sexist, as being misogynist, as taking advantage of a young, beautiful actress having her just be obsessed with sex, stuff like that. But in a Noah Baumbach movie, isn't it meta and brilliant? Well, is it though? Or is it that just Noah Baumbach wanted to get a beautiful young actress to cavort about in not a lot of clothes? I don't know when I find this movie insulting, or I find the fact that people will tell me how smart it is insulting. And I do feel like when they say that, going, oh, could you just hold my drink a second? And then while they're holding their drink and my drink, I can slap them in the face and go, sorry, carry on, what were you saying? This type of cinema annoys me.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry about this because you did enjoy it, and I'm not saying that people are dumb for liking this movie. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you can't have your fucking cake and eat it. And I
totally 100% understand why it would rub people up the wrong way. I 100% understand that. I enjoyed my time with the characters. I did think there was some funny stuff in there. I don't know. I liked the conversations, but it is what it is.
Yeah, there was individual bits of it I quite enjoyed. Him sitting down when he's on the table and the guy keeps putting his stuff down on the table. He's like, motherfucker, put stuff down on our table. And then when he puts the glass down, he has a drink at the glass, then puts it down and says, that's my protest. I laughed at that bit.
The thing is, I've straight up done that to people before.
It doesn't surprise me, yeah, and it's the sort of thing that I would do. But then it's followed by the jacket bit. And the minute he does that, and he's like, that's my jacket, you go in, no, it's not. It's not your jacket. It's just not. I know it's not. I know what's going to happen. He's going to get there, and it's not his.
Well, yeah, quite.
And there's just bits like that, and it's like, right, cool. So I want his jacket, brilliant. And I don't think I've ever seen Jean run. Yeah, that's how she runs. Is that a joke? I can't work it out.
Well,
just
I don't know what to say.
Sorry, I genuinely I'm sorry because you enjoyed it.
It's all right, man. I don't know why it's fine.
Bex said actually afterwards, said, "Do you want a drink or something? Because it seems to have rubbed you up the wrong way." And I was like, I don't know why I do this to myself, because every time after I've watched a Noah Baumbach movie, I get like that. And it does. But if in 2 years' time there's another Noah Baumbach movie on Netflix, I'm gonna fucking watch it.
Well, more fool you.
But I went into it going, do you know what? I don't get on with Noah Baumbach movies. I don't. But I like Adam Sandler. I like Ben Stiller. I like Dustin Hoffman. I like Emma Thompson. I really like the trailer. Let's give it a go. And I didn't go with it. And Ian, no, you do not have to rewatch The Squid and the Whale, because I didn't like The Squid and the Whale, so I rewatched it, and I still didn't like it. I waited a couple of years, I rewatched it, and I fucking hated it.
Okay.
So you don't have to rewatch it.
It was Greenberg, bud. Greenberg.
No, because you said about that you said you thought you might have to rewatch Squid and the Whale as well, I think, didn't you?
No,
it was Greenberg. Yeah, right. So also I won't watch Greenberg. Enjoy and embrace not liking things sometimes. So I'm going to have a look at our audience thing and wait, fucking disagree with me, and I'll just go, "You're talking fucking bollocks, Mark," when they listen to this.
Right. Okay. But what was the vote? Tell me.
Meyerowitz stories. Definitely not shit. 40%.
Okay.
Touching cloth, 0%.
Wow.
And shit, 60%. So that is, it does fall back to the thing of what you said, that he's fucking Marmite.
Yeah. That's as Marmite as it gets almost as well, isn't it, for fuck's sake?
Yep. Right, questions. We have one from Noel, our comic book correspondent, who I'm guessing will be joining us next week for our Thor Ragnarok show. Most responsible babysitters on film, I'll start, and he's given us Jason Statham in the The Fate of the Furious.
Chow Yun Fat and Hard Boiled.
Oh, that was mine.
He's not technically a babysitter, but fuck it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Paul Giamatti and Shoot 'em Up. No, not Paul Giamatti. Clive Owen, sorry.
Clive Owen in Shoot 'em Up.
That would have been a different film.
We can't. Yeah, I'm trying. Chow Yun Fat was going to be mine.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good one though. Rick Kidd at Rick J Kidd. Besides the Snowman, which films have a pre-opening credits at scenes which make you go, "Oh no, this is going to be shit, isn't it?"
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I'm trying to think. Films with pre-credits. I think it was. I think the third Cube movie has a terrible pre-credits.
Cube 0, is that?
Yes. It has a terrible pre-credits. I remember rightly. I remember thinking at that point, oh no. We are not in for a good sit down.
I wish I saw that before.
Doesn't Does Wolverine's X-Men Origins have a pre-credits that's pretty
it
crap?
does. Yeah, it's them as kids.
That's it. Yeah, it's shit.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually.
Yeah, that's going to be mine. Yeah,
Okay.
because I was really looking forward to that, and then it happened, and I went, oh my.
Oh, that's a good question, but fuck, man, I don't know. I can't.
I might come back to that next week as well.
Okay, that's a good shout.
I'm favouriting that, so I can come back to it next week.
Okay.
Steve Dixon at the Great SD. I still remember my dad taking me to see The Return of the Jedi as a kid and loving it. What are your fondest memories of cinema that made you fall in love with film?
My mum and dad weren't really into films. Well, my mum isn't into films. My dad wasn't into films. I should clarify. I've said it many times, but Jurassic Park was a formative fucking experience. Like, I just remember the queue outside the cinema, like, where it literally was a blockbuster. Like, the fucking line for that thing was ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. It just, like, osmosis of movies through the years, really. But that's my defining one.
Yeah, mine's not really a particular movie. It's more a I think I remember the first movie I saw, which I think I spoke about on one of the Patreon shows, was Masters of the Universe in 1988, I think it was. There sort of been like 7 or 6 when I watched that. Probably 6, I think it came out at 6, I think it came out Christmas. But it was, I remember, like a lot of people from my generation, I came from a what is defined as a broken home. And I remember kind of like summers from when I was maybe like 10 years old, 10 to about 13, so the period of where I was old enough to go out of the house on my own, but not quite old enough to go, oh my God, girls exist.
Nice.
So that kind of like 2-3 year period there, back in the hedonistic days of the early 90s, whereby I remember sort of school holidays, because my parents weren't together. It was like there was no family days out or anything like that, or like family holidays, so we didn't go on those type of things. So a lot of my friends would either be on days out with family, or they'd be on family holidays for a week, or in the school holidays I'd have like a couple of weeks where there was like nobody to hang out with because everyone would be on fucking holiday. I would literally get up on a morning, and this fucking shows the difference of the times we live in, and it's only like 25 years ago, and I'd not even 25, well, yeah, about 25 years ago, and I'd cycle to the View, the same View that I go to now, on a morning to go to the Kids Club movie, which they probably still have, maybe, I don't know. But I'd go to that on a morning, and they'd be on at like 10 in the morning, and it'd be like £1 or £1.50 or something like that to go and see this movie, and you get a popcorn with it, so you get popcorn and a movie for like £1.50. I didn't even used to lock my bike up. I used to just leave it outside. Never got nicked. Just used to fucking leave it propped up against the wall on the side of the cinema. Yeah. And it never occurred to me to ever even fucking lock it up. So, yeah, that is the difference in times we fucking live in, that you could do that. But I used to just go in, and I used to just bounce around from movie to movie. And I've said this on the podcast before, you know, and in my mind, it was like this fucking great fucking Machiavellian scheme that I had. I just go from screen to screen. And in reality, it's just the people that work there just didn't give a shit. But, like, the Kids Club thing, you know, like, it wasn't just like it is now, where I'm guessing it is you get the Ice Age movies and you get the Shrek movies, and then the week after that you get Despicable Me, and then the week after that you get the Ice Age movies and the Shrek movies. Yeah, I remember I saw things like often it was stuff like Sandlot Kids, My Girl 2, and fucking Rookie of the Year and Mighty Ducks, but there was also things like E.T. I fucking saw Close Encounters doing that. Batteries Not Included, Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters fucking 2 I saw at the cinema in the early 90s, projected on fucking film for £1.50. Nice. You know, Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, all of these things that now people will go and see fucking retro screens for and pay 15, 20 quid. And I'm there fucking rocking up at fucking 10 years old at fucking 10 in the morning on a Tuesday and paying £1.50 to see it. And it was that kind of developed my love of cinema, because it was like, that was the fucking thing that I did, and it was the thing that I did for comfort. And now still do it, where people, I bet hear me mentioning movies and stuff like that, and I'll go, I saw that at the cinema when I was a kid. And she'll go, and who did you go with, Mark? On my own. And so it's that thing. I've always gone to the cinema on my own. And people always go to me when you say, I'm going to the cinema. Oh, you bet going to see this? No, I'm going on my own. And like, go to the cinema on your own. I'm like,
yeah, I
yes,
get that.
I'm going to do an activity where you are actually supposed to sit quietly for 2 fucking hours. And I'm going to do it on my own. Oh, my God. I don't know how you can do it on your own. Well,
easily.
I'll go with Becky if it's something she
dark.
wants to see. But you just sit down and you watch a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And and I'm sure all our listeners will be going, yeah, I get that. Because it baffles some people. But not us. Don't baffle us. We love it. So that was it. It was more than one movie. It was the fucking comfort of a little bit of like weird kind of like stability and almost fucking latchkey parenthood that kind of made me fall in love with cinema.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So Ian, that was what we're covering next week.
We are going to be covering the mighty Geostorm.
Yep.
Wheelman is out on Netflix on Friday, so I'm assuming we'll give that a crack. The Frank Grillo starring Joe Carnahan produced film, I believe.
Will we also be doing Thor Ragnarok?
What, next week?
Tuesday.
Yeah. Fuck. I suppose we can do. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it depends on when we record.
Yeah. Because are you seeing it Tuesday?
I think. Yeah. I'll see it Tuesday. Yeah.
Because Noel's seeing it Tuesday.
Oh, fuck it. All right, then we'll just record next Wednesday if Noel's about then.
Yeah, and I think I'll have to go and see it Tuesday because I've gone from I don't care to yes, all right, yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So fuck, man, that's going to be a busy fucking show because Brawl in Cell Block 99 is on VOD from Friday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that going straight onto iTunes?
Yeah, it's on iTunes on Friday.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, man. The Death of Stalin's out, which I'm planning on seeing. Happy Death Day's out, which I'm intrigued by. It is I have to go. Yeah, I have to go see My Little Pony the movie, so I'm going to talk about that next week. Yeah.
You're going to say that through such fucking gritted teeth when you have to go up to the counter and go, could I have an adult and a child from My Little Pony, please?
Are we going to make... Oh, God. Are we going to make Noel sit through us talk about Geostorm before we do 4?
I think maybe we should.
Yeah, that'd be funny. But yeah, busy show next week.
Yes. Is there anything else we need to add?
Nah, I'm good. I'm hungry.
I am pretty fucking hungry. I have a cola ham to eat. Yes, so that was episode 228. Another fun recording. We hope you've enjoyed listening. We'll be back next week with a bumper show packed with a lot of reviews and a what we're hoping is a very satisfied and happy Marvel loving Mancunian in No. So doingthemonkey.com, Patreon/doingthemonkey, at Ian Loring, at Doofoz, at doingthemonkey, doingthemonkey@gmail.com. Think that's everything. Thank you for listening, and we'll speak to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.